It's time for the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Powerful and liberating business strategies you can start in 5 minutes or less. Now, here's your host, Dean Soto.
Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of FreedomIn5Minutes.com and ProSulam.com. And we're here again with another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode. Today's topic is this: increasing your value to customers through gifting. That and more coming up. Good morning. Beautiful, beautiful sunny morning over here. It's starting to become spring. Got a lot of green grass and everything going on over here, and it's pretty amazing what we have in our California area, Central California. Back when, before I get into the story, guys, go check out freedomin5minutes.com. Go to Google, type in Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast, Apple Podcasts, or something like that. You'll actually see Freedom in 5 Minutes pop up for your Apple Podcasts app that you can subscribe. You can do the same thing for Spotify and Stitcher and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Okay, so go do that. You'll get these episodes every time they come out, and you will love them. All right, Luna's chasing a whole bunch of crows that are flying, and I don't think she realizes that that's really not going to work. Anyway, so with my first daughter, this was almost 13 years ago. With my first daughter, with really my first child, we were living in Buena Park, California, and we were not looking to sell our house, at least at that time. We were not looking to sell our house, but this one real estate agent came by, a guy by the name of David Sidoni, really cool guy. I'm still connected with him on Instagram. He came around and started talking with my wife and was saying, hey, I'm in the area. Have you ever thought about selling, yada, yada, moving and whatever? And my wife was like, no, not really. But he was chatting with her and with me, and it was cool. And, he seemed like a really nice guy. And so he went on his way. Well, it was about a week later that he came back to the house and brought my wife some sunscreen. It was summer. My wife, we were pregnant with our first child. It was summer, and he brought her some sunscreen and was like, hey, it left a little note just saying, hey, it's hot out there, especially, you having a new baby. Congratulations. It's so cool that, why don't you go spend some time at the beach and just enjoy yourself? You and your husband deserve it. So I was like, oh, that was really, really cool. Well, about a month later, he comes back. Now, keep in mind, we were not we weren't like even looking to move at all. We weren't. Well, a week later, he comes back with this baby. It's called the happiest baby. Oh, sorry, with this baby. We came back with this baby. We came back with this baby DVD. So he came back. Oh my gosh. Today is just one of those days. He came back with this baby DVD. It was called The Happiest Baby on the Block. And it was this doctor that showed you how to shush your baby, how to help your baby to not cry all the time. And boy, did we need that afterward. It actually worked out really, really well, especially with my first, who was such a huge crier. It was really rough. Anyway, so he came back with this Happiest Baby on the Block DVD. Keep in mind, we were still not in any way looking to move. And I was just blown away. I'm like, this guy, we're not giving him any business, like in the sense of from us. This guy is doing this. Wow. Like, what would he do if we were actually looking for business? So what do you think we did? Well, I knew that we weren't going to be moving anytime soon, but we had some friends that we knew were moving, and we called them and we were like, you have to use this guy. This guy is awesome. We're not even moving and he's already doing this, and this. Can you imagine what it would be like if you actually worked with him? And we literally became evangelists for David Sidoni. We became evangelists for David Sidoni without ever doing really, truly any business with him. And what happened was our really good friends, ended up using him as their realtor, and he ended up finding a house. They ended up finding a house with David Sidoni, their dream home, which I believe that they're still in to this day. So 12 years ago, they're still in that same house. And it was all through sunscreen, which probably cost them at the time $4, and sunscreen, and then a Happiest Baby on the Block DVD, which I think probably was more. That was probably more around the $9.95 or $14.95. So let's say $20 of investment into a gift to people that he liked, and he was able to close. At least at the time, I want to say it was about a $650,000 house in Aliso Viejo, California. It was around there. It was it might have even been in the 700,000s. So if that guy's getting 3%, his $20 turned into several $1,000. So just to think that, his $20 plus, the time that he spent talking and enjoying turned into a a good percentage. That's not counting any other fees or anything like that was able to get sale simply from that $20 and taking the time to grow his business in that way, right? Taking the time to actually find out about us. People who literally were not interested in moving, which is crazy to think about, right? Oh my gosh. So it actually opened up my eyes. It opened up my eyes to what is possible when you give and you give. It's like Jesus says, right? It's better to give than to receive, right? Well, when you give and give and give, without asking, without taking, to me, it's without going and saying, hey, buy this thing from me, buy this thing from me, buy this thing from me. It really showed me the value in doing that. So it was interesting because, at the time I was not an entrepreneur. I wasn't even thinking about it until I got back from being deployed. That's when all of that started. I started listening to, Gary Vaynerchuk, kind of the typical entrepreneur path where you listen to Gary Vaynerchuk, you get all hyped up and on hustle, and then move on to other things so that you can kind of start systemizing things and so on and so forth. But I've always, I started seeing that it was so I started seeing how to apply what David Sidoni had essentially taught me. It was a really cool coaching lesson before I was even a business person. And so one of the things that when I first started my business, I was going to Craigslist. I was putting up advertising. I was doing all this doing all this stuff that really was not working. And it was not until I started using social media, and I was doing the typical social media thing where it's post all this content on Twitter and then ask people to go to your website and try and make a sale and blah, blah, blah. It didn't work. None of that ever worked. What did work though was I started attending these tweet ups. It was really big in Orange County, these we called tweet ups. And it was just a bunch of people meeting up who were on social media and Twitter and so on and so forth. And I'd go to these tweet ups, And I would do nothing but give. I would give, to IT advice. I would talk with people, just hear about their day. I would give shout outs to them on Twitter, saying thank you. It was never like a salesy type thing. And it was when that happened, when I literally started giving with Twitter, that I started seeing growth in my business, a lot of growth and a lot of traction. And had that not happened, I probably would have quit. I probably would have not even gone the entrepreneur route, and I would have I would have stayed in the full-time employee route, which was not bad. It just wasn't something that I wanted and I felt called to. And that translated later on. As my business grew, it translated into, well, how can I want my customers to feel special. I want my customers to feel special. I want people to feel like they are taken care of whenever I'm working with them, whenever I am, when they're one of my customers, I want them to feel like wowed. I want them to see like that they're not just spending money on a service, but they have a friend, they have someone who's thinking about them, caring about them, giving to them, because nobody does that anymore, right? Think of the last thing that you've bought or the last service that you've had. How many times a year do you get something from them? Whether it's a handwritten thank you card, you usually get emails on Christmas, your birthday. You'll get emails on Christmas, your birthday, New Year's, and a lot of the times it's like, hey, happy birthday. We really care about you. Come, here's a $20 gift discount to buy something from us, right? It's this half-hearted fake thing, right? It's not really truly just giving, right? And so when's the last time that's happened? Never. And so it's great because when you give in your business, you're able... Luna, here's a truck. Go get him, Luna. Get him. When you give in your business, you are swimming in a pool of a ton of fish, and you're able to just take whatever fish you want because nobody does. It's really such a huge surprise when people I just actually had an idea. I had an idea on gift giving that I think I'm going to do relatively soon. But you get you're able to get people who you're sorry. I got all distracted by a thought of a marketing thought that I can use with gifts. Anyway, but you're playing in a pool that nobody else is playing. Whether it's a consultant, and a lot of people will do like consultants and things like that, who have really high margins. They'll do like, hey, I'm going to send you flowers, or something like right after you pay me. Like, that's great. But for the most part, like, imagine, you're like 2 months, 3 months down the road, and all of a sudden you get a gift. That's way different, right? That's huge. And so you really want to see that this gifting concept is there for a reason. It is there for, it's there as a means to show and give value, like literally to just give. And what happens is over time, whether it's that person coming and buying more from you, or whether they refer you, or whether, it's just you've put some kind of positive thing out there, eventually it comes back, generally. I mean, you shouldn't do it just because you want something in return, but generally, that's what seems to happen. And so, the more that you can give in the beginning, the more that you can give, the more that you're going to see that there is a tremendous value in giving value before taking anything. Okay, to the point where I'm like, I just had an idea of, because like think about it. It's a little business talk. Let's talk business real quick. Think about it. Would you, like, if you're in the consulting side of things, would you spend $100 to make $5,000? Well, if you send 4 gifts throughout the year to somebody, more than likely it's going to cost you about $100. Now, they might not be buying now. They might not be buying later. They might not be buying within 3 months, 6 months. But at that 12th month, I actually had someone that I talked to yesterday that I've been talking to for 12 months, and now they're finally ready to move forward. And so you, like, this idea that you can't spend $100, because if you look at Facebook advertising, any type of advertising, the cost, not just per lead on average for a consultant, not for a customer, but the cost per lead generally is going to be, around $50, depending on what you're in, but it could be anywhere between $50 to $100. That's not a customer, that's per lead. So then for them to become a customer, especially in like the consulting field, you're looking at $250, $500, sometimes even $1,000, depending on how high your ticket is, right? Well, imagine spending $100, just $100, and you making that happen. That's huge. So you don't want to simply just you want to see that really. I mean, to get something in the mail, there's like 100% open rate, never asking for anything, and you're getting this. You're getting the potential of making thousands of dollars. It's pretty huge. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I literally am like thinking, I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm totally thinking of new things, of a new strategy right now. So, which I'm actually going to go implement as soon as I get to my computer. So why is this important? It's important because the more that you give, the more you will receive, whether you like it or not. Biggest thing is to give. But give strategically as well. Like, don't break the bank. Don't go into debt in order to give. But give so that you can receive and then give more, and then receive and give more, and receive and give more. There's so many automated ways to do it now. You just got to figure it out. So, all right. So this is Dean Soto, freedomin5minutes.com. Go check that out, freedomin5minutes.com. If you want a virtual systems architect, go and get a virtual systems architect where they'll take everything off your plate in as little as 5 minutes a day over at prosulum.com, prosulum.com. And I will catch you in the next Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode.
Thanks for listening to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Now, head over to www.freedomin5minutes.com and register for our free masterclass and discover how to start systemizing and automating your entire business 5 minutes at a time. We'll see you next time on the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast.